Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about the use of generative AI for analysing qualitative data. At Indeemo, I specialise in designing prompts for speedy and effective data analysis. Now, as generative AI becomes more embedded in the research process, it can be overwhelming for someone who's just beginning their journey in analysing data with the use of generative AI. So for us at Indeemo, we felt it was important to provide you with essential tips to kickstart your journey when analysing data with the use of our generative AI research assistant. Tip 1. Start broad. As I mentioned in the previous video, it can be overwhelming when you're faced with a large amount of qualitative data and you have this new tool and you're unsure where to begin. The first thing a lot of clients ask me is, where do I start? My answer to them always is, start broad. To simply put it, what you aim to do when you're designing a prompt is to just get a feel for the data. What we aim to do is to familiarize ourselves with the contents of the data. Who's saying what and what are they saying, and to get a brief summary of an interview transcript. By starting broad, that will allow you capitalize and summarize top-line themes. We can then use those themes and drill down into the data further. A very simple, broad type prompt can be, provide me with a summary of the top-line themes from this interview transcript. Tip number 2 is context. As you start to get more familiar with the data, what you will most likely want to do next is to provide further context to the AI. The more context you give AI, the more that it will find nuances and subtleties within its data. Generative AI can excel at making sense of large volumes of data. The more context you give it around an interviewee or a respondent, what it will do is it will help you find similarities and differences across interviews or across focus groups. However, there can be a trade-off. The more specific you get in your prompt design, the more that the AI will omit and leave out any other noise or background information. Often it is a fine balance. So sometimes you might want to zoom back out and be a little bit more broader, and other times you might want to zoom back in and provide further context. The key thing though is that context provides an additional layer for the AI when it's analysing your data. Tip number 3, instructions. Generative AI can be an effective research assistant, but the quality of results that you get back is directly related to the quality of the instructions given. In the previous video, we referred to context, laying out the foundations of what is happening in an interview. But with instructions, what we're referring to is the type of data that we need back, the format that we want it back in, and the level of detail that we want. By providing clear and concise instructions for the AI, you will get the results that you need back. As mentioned previously, it is a fine balance, so the key thing is to iterate on your prompts. That brings me to a final bonus tip. And in fact, this is probably the most important tip that I give clients when they're beginning their journey analysing data with generative AI. That tip is iteration. Iterative prompting will be the most effective way for you to upskill with this new technology. What I mean by iterative prompting is basically the way that you can start to drill into the data more and investigate the data more and challenge the AI even further. By iterating on your prompts, you get more from the data, you ask more questions, and you learn much more about the craft of prompt design.